Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha, and in this video we're going to go over my year in review of 2025 and all the books I read and the books I loved and the books I didn't love as much. So we're going to start off the video as positive as we can because we're going into the new year with positive mindset. Also, sorry if I sound sick. I am just getting over the big C word. So still a little drainy. Anyways, I read 95 books in 2025, and out of the 95 books, I definitely have way more books that I enjoyed, books I didn't enjoy as much. So I don't have every single copy of the books that I did not enjoy, because either I have them physically, I don't like them, I put them on Pingo and they get sold, or I rent them from the library, which usually is the better case of everything. So I'm supporting my library and I'm not spending my own money. So let's go through my top rated books in 2025. So these are just books that stood out from all the 95. I have 24 books that stood out to me among the 95 that I would probably reread again. If I probably will eventually. But these are books that I recommend to other people, and they're mostly romance in some sort, whether it be fantasy, contemporary, like cowboy romance. And then I do have a little bit of dystopian and not dystopian, mostly fantasy. But let's get through those. The first on my list is the first Ashley Poston book that I've read, and I started reading her books this year, and I got to meet her this year too. She was the best. So she wanted to originally name this book Ghost Boners, so she went through and she crossed out the Dead Romantics and put Ghost Boners. So The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This was such a fun read. I read this at the beginning of the year, and I had just dealt with some loss in my family, and this was like a comedic way to talk about grief and still like face it, but I don't know, it felt like I needed it at that time. I definitely want to reread this again, especially during spooky season. I think it'll be great. If you haven't read this one, it's about Florence, who's a ghostwriter for this other author, and she doesn't have her own books out. She only writes under someone else's name. So everyone knows her as that. And then she ends up meeting a publisher, and they kind of butt heads a little bit. And then when her dad passes away, she has to go back to her hometown and help, with all the arrangements and stuff. And she's kind of able to see ghosts. And yeah, it's a really good read. I 10 out of 10 recommend. This was a 5-star for me. Next up, I'm going to just put these all in a series. I have a few series that I read through, so I'm going to show them all to you, so I won't go through every single book. But after that, I read the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. This was my first time reading Abby Jimenez books, and all 3 of these were so good. I did the audiobook, I think, for all of them. And I loved them. They were great. I loved her writing. I had a fun time. I felt connected to the characters. I loved the first one. I think I loved the first one, and honestly, I loved all of them. They were so good. The characters and all of them are good, and they're somehow connected to each other. I feel like you can read them in order so you kind of know who's who. Definitely don't read the last one before the second one, because there's spoilers, but they're really good. They can be read as standalones if you want, but I would recommend reading them in order. They're really good. After that, we have The Rebel Witch. So this was her latest release in this. It's book 2 of the Crimson Moth duology. It was great. It wrapped up things very nicely. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoy her writing a lot. I did the audiobook for this one as well, and it was a great way to end the book, and it made me love the characters. This is a witch hunter and a witch romance, and it was so good. It's so good. The audiobook, their accents, Perfect. After that, I have another series. So I read the Blue Ranch series, all of them. And I didn't read them in order, but I did love them so much. I think my favorite one is most likely Lost and Lassoed, because he's like a grumpy dude and she's just a sweet girl and she kind of whips him into shape. So I really, really, really enjoyed these ones. This was my first cowboy romance and I can't wait to read more. No, I love them. So very, very good. Love Lila Sage. I'm excited to read Soul Searching. That's her other one that she just released in 2025 as well. After that, I went into The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And this was a cozy fantasy. This was super cute. There is plants that can talk and it's just a good cozy vibe. The romance is really sweet. And then meeting Sarah Beth and listening to her talk and how she sees the world, you definitely can see her point of view in this, where it's just everything's magic. So yeah, very, very good cozy book. I thought it was a great spring book. I definitely recommend it. I did read the second book in this series as well. I didn't enjoy it as much, but it was still really good. The Paradise Problem. I didn't read all of these in specific order, but throughout the year. I read Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, and these girls just know how to write a fun romance book. This gave me Crazy Rich Asians, the movie, the vibes of that. And again, I had a fun time. Also very similar to the honeymoon one, The Honeymooners. I don't remember the name of the other honeymoon book, but where the sister goes in place of her twin sister and the best man to Hawaii. Very much similar vibes. Loved this one. It just was all around a good read. And then I have Enchantra, and this is Kaylee Smith. So I'm a huge fan of hers. I love Phantasma, and this is the second book in that series. The third one's going to be coming out in 2026. I'm so excited. This one was really good. I was curious how we were going to go about a second book in that series, because you kind of know who the sister is from the first book, but you don't have much information other than that. So I was curious how it was going to work, and it worked great. I loved the characters. I loved the side characters. I loved the little fox. It was just a fun read. Then I have The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This one was a fun, different twist on vampires, and I loved that. I love vampire books and I love vampires, so I had a great time with this one. Also did the audio one on this one as well, and the audio wasn't bad. I feel like I would have had just as fun of a time with this one if I read it with my eyes too. I didn't enjoy the second one as much as I enjoyed this first one, but the first one really sucked me in and I could not get enough of it. Then we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. So this is probably one of my top books of the year, and I cannot stop thinking of this book even till this day. If people ask for book recommendations, I'll say, do you like lesbians and do you like vampires? And if they say yes, then I'm like, this is it. I even gave one away for like a book swap because I was like, everyone has to read this. It was so fun. There was 3 points of view as they were telling the story. The story was so good. I didn't want to go to someone else's point of view. I just wanted to keep going in their story. But I get it. It's a part of the book, but it's so good. It's a toxic, sapphic vampire relationship. And you get to go through this and meet these women and see how toxic they are, specifically one of them, and you get to see her story, and it's great. These are tied for my favorite book of the year. So I have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil and The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. So this one made me cry, and after I finished the book, I just had to sit there and stare at the wall because I couldn't believe the cliffhanger we were left on, and I did not see the twist coming. Like I sort of did, but I didn't see it coming the way it did. It broke my heart. And Bartholomew is my favorite in the whole world, and I love him and I would die for him. But I feel like he's the one who really made me love this book even more. And that's kind of how it was with the other duology that she had, the one dark window, 2 twisted crowns. I loved like the grumpy grumpy character in that one, and this one he's not really grumpy, he's just misunderstood, and he's so precious and I love him. So yeah, definitely this is like Lady Night vibes. It's just so good. Just check it out. Her writing is great, and I 10 out of 10 recommend. So I read Project Hail Mary this year because the movie is coming out in a few months, and it was for a book club that I had for the place I was working, and I did specifically Audible audiobook, and when I tell you this was a masterpiece, it was literally a masterpiece. It felt like I was watching a movie, and the acting was great, the characters were amazing, and I feel like you really get to meet the character. Like, I'll just show you like a little example here. So you see how it has like the little notes? Well, you can't hear that when you're reading, but whenever you're listening to it, they play the little notes that it sounds like. So I thought that was really, really, really cool, and it just made me really excited for the movie. I cried in this one. I cried in IKEA while I was listening to this, and then I cried at home, and I also cried in the car. I cried 3 different times on this book, and I'm obsessed with it, and I'm so excited for the movie. I think I'll probably reread it. This was one that when I finished the audiobook, I immediately wanted to restart it and listen to it over again and just have it on repeat. So I highly recommend that. I don't necessarily love Audible, but I do love that version of this book. The Hunger Games, the original trilogy. And I have not read the 2 newest ones, but I did get these ones done, and I loved them. I knew I was gonna like them. I love the movies, and there's no comparison. It was so good, and I'm so sad that I didn't like read these when they were coming out, because I know I would have been obsessed. Like, younger me would have been obsessed, but now old me is obsessed. I love them. So I need to read the other 2. I am going to get to them. I just haven't gotten there yet. I just felt like I needed a good break after that. But they were so good. I'm just so sad that I didn't read them earlier in life. Then I have Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver. This was one that I read around October-ish and loved it. I love her writing. I always have a good time anytime I read any of her books. This one specifically was a really, really, really good time. This was her latest release, and there's another book coming out in this series in 2026 as well. So funny, and like, you need that comic relief when you're reading about people killing each other. So definitely a great one there. Terror at the Gates. I have a whole video about this book and how obsessed I was with it. This is the only book I've ever annotated, and my dog threw up on it just now, so it's ruined on the top, but that's okay. I'm gonna just let it dry and let it do its thing. But yeah, this is a book that I can't wait to reread. Oh, so good. So good. The different points of view and religion and sexual tension between the characters was really, really good. So highly recommend Terror at the Gates. Check your trigger warning. So the Book of Azrael. I have been seeing this book everywhere, and we finally read it for a book club, and it was so good, and I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. This is the collector's edition, so this is the first one I have physically. I read it on my Kindle. I'm kind of glad I read it on my Kindle because these are big books. So the second one's even bigger, and I'm going to read that one on my Kindle as well and wait for the collector's edition to come out if I like it and get that one. But for right now, I only have this one, and I love it. I am so excited to get further into this series because apparently there's characters that you don't really like in these first books, and then you start to really like them in the other ones, and I need to understand that because I don't understand how anyone can like them. And then we have my last 5-star of 2025 is Christmas Fling by Lindsay Kelk. This was such a fun, cute Christmas book. Honestly, I feel like you could read this any time of year. It was really, really, really funny. I was cackling and laughing out loud with this one. And this is my first Lindsay Kelk, so I really, really want to read more of her books. And she has a good amount of books out. She actually has a lot of books out. So I want to read more of hers. I really, really loved it. If it's anything like this, it's going to be a good time. I don't physically have this book, not yet. Avalon Tower by C.N. Crawford and Alex Rivers was such a good book. There's 3 books in this series, so it's a a trilogy. Veil of Dreams is the second one, and Lady of the Lake is the third, right? Yeah. And this one is a Fae Academy for spies. This girl is well, she thought she was human her whole life, but ends up that she is someone very important in this other world. So she ends up having to like go and sort of prove her loyalty, and it's just a good time. It's a great fantasy, romantasy, however you want to say it. Fae, you already know. It's a good time. My favorites are going to be The Night and the Moth, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, Terror at the Gates, Avalon Tower, and The Book of Azrael. Those are my favorites of the year. So one more that I almost forgot is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I'm in love with it. I needed it. I needed to read it at the time I read it. It deals with grieving as well, and it healed my soul in a way that I can never thank her enough for. This one was just a great story overall. It talks about like messy family and like dealing with family issues, and then there's just a big twist in there. It was just written beautifully, and I just owe a big thank you to this book for helping me through a very difficult time. And yeah, I can't believe that I almost forgot that one. So that one is definitely on there, and that one is also a favorite of the year as well. So I'm gonna add that to my favorites of the year. And then the books that I either DNF'd or wish I DNF'd. I feel bad saying that, but I have a few of them. So Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I know that a lot of people like this When in Rome series. Maybe if I would have read the first one and then picked up this one, I would have liked it more. I think I was just needing something to read. I found a contemporary romance on Libby and decided to try it out, and it wasn't for me. The writing was just really cheesy, and I just couldn't get into it. I didn't care about the characters at all. It was not for me. After that was The Wild Huntress. This is a YA, and I think that was my first issue, and I couldn't get into it. I was listening to it, I just could not care. I could care less about anybody that was in there. I couldn't even tell you what happened, and I think I DNF'd this one. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I think I got like 50% of the way in, and I was like, I'm good. I don't know enough. I can't retain it. I like restarted it multiple times. I even listened to it slower, faster. I tried to read and listen at the same time. Couldn't get into it, so I gave up. Third one that I was surprised was actually Wicked. I love Wicked. I love the musical. I love the movies. I love everything Wicked, and I just do not understand how this great musical and production came from this book. I thought it was so odd, and I get that that's what it was supposed to be. I know it was supposed to be like weird, and the bestiality for me was a little bit, I couldn't get behind it. No pun intended. I just couldn't do it. I tried this one multiple times. I even ran out of time and re-rented it from the library to keep listening and keep trying, and I didn't like it at all. Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. This was one of those other ones that I also felt like it was very cheesy, and like it was predictable, and it just felt like cookie cutter. Like I've already read this book before, and it just didn't give me anything. So I think I got like 30% of the way, and I was like, I'm good. This is weird because I normally like these types of books, but everyone has their own opinions. Spark of the Everflame. I tried to listen to that one as well, and I listened to the whole thing, and I wish I DNF'd it. I don't really remember anything that happened. Can't tell you anything because I don't remember, but it was not a good one for me. After that was The Faculty Lounge by Jennifer Matthew. This one was a work book club pick as well, and I thought it was so dumb. It was just a bunch of teachers griping. I think maybe if I was in that like setting in my actual life, it might be different, but I just couldn't relate to anybody, and I just thought it was just not fun. Like I wouldn't reread it. So yeah, that was a low rated one for me as well. After that was Filthy Rich Fae. I DNF'd this one. I thought it was so dumb. and I could not get into it. And I was looking forward to reading it for a long time. And yeah, I couldn't get into it. I hated it. I didn't like the characters. None of the characters were likable for me. They were like irritating me so much. And it's just like, if I can't read a book and love the characters, I don't want to read it. I don't want to waste my time. There's too many other good books out there. And that's kind of how I felt with this one. After that was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I had this book for a long time. I was so excited to read it and I hated it. I hated it. I was rolling my eyes nonstop. Say hi. And I couldn't wait for it to be over. And that's also like a big thing for me because like I enjoy reading so much, and a lot of times if I want it to be over, then it's not for me. After that was another book club pick from the job I had at the time, and that was Our Wives Under the Sea. And this was actually my recommendation. A booktuber, or actually she's not a booktuber, she's a plant tuber, but she had a recommendation on this book saying that it was so good and she just could not get enough of it, and I really wanted to try it out. It sounded really, really creepy and weird and like up my alley normally. No. I tried reading it, couldn't get into it. So then I got the audiobook, tried listening to the audiobook, couldn't get into it. I tried to do both at the same time, reading and listening, couldn't get into it. So yeah, that one was a no-go for me. And it's great for a lot of other people, but it just was not for me. And this is the only book I have physically, and I won't get rid of it because I love the author, but this one was not for me. Rose in Chains book by Julie Soto. This is her first like fantasy book that she's published. This originally started as a fanfic. The Auction, I believe is the name. I had a hard time reading it only because I was just getting so frustrated with how the main character was being treated. And I don't know. I hated the way women were talked about, the way that women were treated. And I think maybe I was just not in a good like mental space to read it, but it irritated me so bad. I made it most of the way through this book. I made it to 364 out of 440. I had less than 100 pages left, and I had to stop because I was just feeling like shit reading it. And I get that that's like why people will like to read it, to get that reaction from it, but I don't know, it just made me sad. Yeah, so I didn't finish this one, and I didn't rate it really well either because I don't know, it didn't hit for me. It hit for a lot of people. The Dramini fanfic fan base is wild, and then they ate this up, and I just didn't. I don't know. I'm also having a hard time with Alchemized. It's really taking a lot to get through that book, and I'm like 50% of the way through, and I want to DNF, but I know that it's gonna get better. My memory card is full. So the last one is Feather So Vicious. I talked about this one in a vlog, a book vlog a few videos back, and this one was a romantasy book club pick. I think I was a minority. Most people loved it, and then they like went on to read the second book and then completely hated the series after that. I just didn't get the vibes from the beginning. I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the characters. Didn't care for like the main character, FMC. She irritated me. I didn't like either of the MMCs, so yeah, it just, again, if I don't have that connection, I can't get into it, and it kind of sucks being that way because there's a lot of books that I want to read and I just can't get into them. So let's see how that goes while I'm trying to do classic books, because I have a feeling that's going to be hard for me to relate, but we'll see. Let's see if I could get past it. So yeah, so that's all of my year in review, pretty much, of all the different books that I read. We had 95 books. That's a lot of books. I slowed down a lot towards the end of the year, but my goal was 80, and I exceeded my goal by 15, so I think I'm good. Goal again this year is 80 as well, and I want to try to be around 80 because I feel like I can take my time a little bit more with the books I'm reading. 80 is still a lot of books to read in a year. Like the average person reads maybe 1 or 2 books a year, and 80 is a lot, so I am overachieving. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, so thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.